I can smell that lotion, it's really nice. That's it. Now, if I was doing this as a body massage, I'd probably do 12 of these. But for sports massage, we say do as many until you feel like that's enough, which is my kind of massage. So when you start to feel things warming up, I can see a little bit of erythema already. That's it. Okay, just going to get a little bit more lotion. So I've got the lotion in here, so I don't have to leave the client. And I'm going to do shoulder circles. So I'm pressing down on the shoulders. If they're quite rounded, you might feel a little bounce here. Okay, and you can also notice, if you have a look down the couch here, if they have one shoulder slightly higher than the other, and I think my client here is right-handed, and the right shoulder is up a little bit higher, so there's a bit of tightness in that pec minor, which we'll get to. So shoulder circles. Then we're going to go to knuckling technique. So we could go to kneading, but I think in this area it's a little bit too fingery, really, a bit pokey. So with knuckles, we go to this part, and if you do that, it's just a lot easier to do. So you can do both on one side, you can do it the same on either side, and it does get a little bit deeper than the effleurage strokes. So it's a form of kneading, it's called knuckling. Now we can go down the upper arms, around the deltoids, okay, and then we can come up onto the trapezius here and then work on that as well. So you get your knuckles in. Now I'd always combine a chest massage with an upper back massage. So with my client here, after this maybe 15-20 minute treatment, I'd turn them over and I'd work on the upper back. So don't be too worried if you can't get too far down on this one. Okay. Make sure that's nice and warmed up. And whether you can see it on the camera, you can see some reddening here. So we call that erythema. And that's increasing the blood to the surface and to the muscles. Okay, so once we've done that bit of a basic massage and warm up, we're going to get a little bit deeper now and work on the pec major. If your client is quite kyphotic, and by that I mean rounded shoulders or more hunched, it tends to be really tight. So working on these muscles, or if they're a gym user and they've been working on bench press and things, this massage would be perfect for them. So I'm going to work on this side, and the things I want you to remember for this, I want the client to turn their head.
All the connective tissue around it. And I think what's important to note here is that when someone either has plantar fasciitis or an Achilles tendon tear, it can really play a role in how the hamstrings perform. So I want to address the entirety of the back of the leg, and that plays a really big role in how the hamstrings can perform. With my client's leg back up on the table, I want to pay some extra attention to the insertion points for the hamstrings. The stringy tendons of the semitendinosus and the semimembranosus, which I affectionately refer to as the semisisters, come on the medial side of the knee, and then the biceps femoris come around on the lateral side of the knee. And so I just warm them up first, and then I sink in with my fingers and make sure that I'm really paying attention to how they move and how they react to my work, and then check in about how this is feeling with my client. Oftentimes, just the attention to this area can feel so good to a client with tight hamstrings. And in a shocking turn of events, I've got my client in the figure 4 position again. I love this position, and I will include the link to how to get your client in this position in the comments below. I love it for the hamstrings because it can bring the leg into positions that I can manipulate both the origin and the insertion, stretching it out and softening it. So here, as I bring the lower leg off the table, I'm extending the knee and really lengthening out the hamstrings in a way that I can't do if the leg just stays on the table. So as I really bring that knee into extension and I slide up the hamstrings all the way to the ischial tuberosity, I'm getting a deeper stretch and some new length into this tight muscle. On a side note, most hamstring injuries occur closer to the origin, but can occur either from overstretching or from fast activation like sprinting. So they come in many different versions and have many different causes, but hamstring injuries never feel good. Reason number 2054 that I love the figure 4 position is because it gives me amazing access to the ischial tuberosity, which is the source of not just the origin of the hamstrings, but also the attachment site for so many hip muscles, and has a way of being
So my brow masterclasses are almost ready and ready to be launched in June. With that being said, me and Corey are off on a well-deserved holiday to Sardinia. We're going with 2 of our friends and we literally cannot wait. It's been on my bucket list for the longest time, and we're going to do the whole of the island. So if any of you have got any recommendations of places and things we must do whilst we're there, please let us know. We're also going to film it so you guys can come along with us.